You didn't find this video. This video found you. This is one of 12 ancient laws that were buried, twisted, or forgotten until now. What you're about to discover has been deliberately obscured by those who profit from your confusion. They gave you manifestation as performance art, vision boards, and forced affirmations, while hiding the true law that sages have known for millennia. The real law of attraction was never about thinking positive thoughts until your mind cracked under the pressure. It was never about scripting your way into abundance while your nervous system screamed in terror. It was never about becoming a spiritual athlete, exhausting yourself in pursuit of outcomes that seemed to dance just beyond your reach. No, the ancients knew something far more profound, something so simple, yet so revolutionary, that entire industries have been built to keep you from understanding it. Today, that changes. Today, you remember what you truly are. Let me tell you about the greatest spiritual deception of our time. They told you to think positive while your soul was crying out in anguish. They told you to visualize abundance while you could barely afford groceries. They told you to repeat affirmations while your nervous system screamed the opposite truth. I am wealthy, I am worthy, I am loved, spoken through gritted teeth, while every cell in your body rejected these foreign words like a virus. You tried their vision boards, didn't you? Cut out pictures of houses you couldn't afford, cars that felt impossible, relationships that seemed like fairy tales. You stared at these images, trying to feel something, anything that resembled the certainty they promised would manifest your dreams. But the certainty never came. Only more effort, more forcing, more spiritual gymnastics. You scripted your future self, writing elaborate stories of the life you wanted, hoping the universe would somehow receive your literary offering and grant your wishes like some cosmic genie. You filled journal after journal with the person you thought you needed to become, not realizing you were moving further from who you actually are. They sold you hustle disguised as spirituality. Raise your vibration, they said, as if your worth depended on maintaining some impossible frequency of perpetual positivity. As if the moment you felt fear, doubt, or simple human sadness, you had failed the cosmic test. This is why you're exhausted. This is why manifestation feels like swimming upstream. This is why, despite years of trying, you still feel like you're performing a role rather than living your truth. Because everything they taught you was backwards. The law of attraction was never about attracting what you want. It was never about becoming what you think you should be. It was never about efforting your way into alignment. The real law, the one they buried beneath layers of commercialized spirituality, is elegantly simple. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. In the old traditions, before manifestation became a marketplace, the mystics understood a fundamental truth about reality. The universe is not a vending machine responding to your requests. It is a mirror, reflecting back the deepest vibration of your being. You don't attract what you consciously want. You attract what you unconsciously are. This is the principle of coherence, the hidden law that governs all creation. Coherence exists on 3 levels, and most people live in complete contradiction across all 3. Your beliefs and self-talk, not the pretty affirmations you recite, but the underground river of thoughts that flow beneath your conscious awareness. The stories you tell yourself when no one is listening. The assumptions you make about your worthiness, your safety, your place in the world. If you believe, deep in your bones, that good things don't happen to people like you, then no amount of positive thinking will override that core programming. The field responds to your true beliefs, not your performed ones. Be energy you radiate into the world, not the emotions you think you should feel, but the ones that live in your nervous system. There's a frequency of desperation that repels what you seek. There's a frequency of knowing that magnetizes without effort. When you chase something, you emit the energy of lack, of not having it, of needing it, of fearing you'll never receive it. The universe mirrors this back as more chasing, more needing, more not having. But when you embody the energy of already being the person who has it, not as performance, but as genuine recognition, creation responds to that frequency. The actions you take when you're not trying to manifest anything, how you move through the world when you think no one is watching, the choices you make from your authentic self, not from your spiritual aspirations. The person who truly has wealth doesn't need to affirm their abundance. They make decisions from abundance. The person who truly knows love doesn't need to attract their soulmate. They move through life as someone who is already whole. This is why the ancient teachers spoke of becoming rather than attracting. They knew that the field does not respond to effort, it responds to coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions align not with what you want, but with who you actually are in your deepest truth, manifestation stops being work and becomes as natural as breathing. The mystics had a saying, "Seek not to change your circumstances. Seek to change yourself, and watch as your circumstances transform to match your inner state." This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not denial of your current reality. This is recognition that you are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creative force that shapes them. You are not trying to attract a new life. You are remembering that you are the consciousness from which all life emerges. Here's where most people stumble, and I want you to hear this with your whole being. The more you chase, the more you affirm it isn't here. Think about this carefully. When you desperately want something, what are you actually saying to the universe? You're saying, "I don't have this. I need this. I am incomplete without this." And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects back, "Yes, you don't have this. Yes, you need this. Yes, you are incomplete without this." This is not punishment. This is precision. The cosmic mirror doesn't judge your desires as good or bad. It simply shows you what you truly believe about yourself and your relationship to what you seek. Chasing is the enemy of receiving. Forcing is the enemy of flow. Efforting is the enemy of embodiment. The ancient path requires something that feels terrifying to the ego, but is actually the most natural thing in the world: surrender. But surrender is not giving up. Surrender is not passive resignation. Surrender is not saying, "I don't care what happens." True surrender is alignment with a higher will, the intelligence that beats your heart, grows the trees, and spins the galaxies. It's recognizing that the same force that created you is perfectly capable of creating the life that matches your highest truth. Imagine trying to force a seed to grow. You could yell at it, demand it sprout faster, manipulate the soil, control every variable. But all your effort would be useless compared to simply providing the right conditions and trusting the intelligence within the seed to do what it naturally knows how to do. You are both the gardener and the seed. Your job is not to force the growth. Your job is to create the inner conditions where your true nature can express itself fully. And what are those conditions? Safety, coherence, trust, alignment. When you let go of the how and the when and the where, you create space for synchronicities that your controlling mind could never orchestrate. When you release the need to figure it all out, you allow wisdom greater than your personal will to move through you. The Sufi poet Rumi wrote, "Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray." That strange pull is not your ego's agenda. It's not your mind's plan. It's the magnetic force of your soul calling you home to who you've always been. But to feel that pull, you must first stop running. You must first stop chasing. You must first trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. This requires a radical shift from doing to being, from pursuing to allowing, from manifesting to embodying. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop needing it to happen, you become the person for whom it naturally happens. Now, let me speak to those of you who understand everything I've shared, but still find yourself stuck in old patterns. To those who know the truth, but can't seem to live it consistently. This is not a failure of will. This is not a lack of faith. This is not evidence that you're doing it wrong. Your nervous system must feel safe enough to receive. Deep in your body, beneath the level of conscious thought, your nervous system is constantly scanning for threats. It's asking one fundamental question: am I safe? If the answer is no, if you're carrying unhealed trauma, unprocessed grief, or ancestral patterns of scarcity, then no amount of mental techniques will override your body's protective mechanisms. Your subconscious blocks are not obstacles. They are guardians. They are protective patterns that your psyche developed to keep you safe, based on past experiences. Perhaps as a child, you learned that wanting things led to disappointment. Perhaps you discovered that being visible brought danger. Perhaps you inherited patterns from ancestors who survived by expecting less, demanding little, and staying small. These patterns live in your body, not your mind. They express themselves as the tightness in your chest when you dare to dream big, the anxiety that floods your system when good things start happening. The unconscious self-sabotage that emerges just as you're about to break through. The voice that whispers, "This is too good to be true," whenever life offers you a gift. Healing these patterns is not about forcing them away. It's about creating new experiences of safety that gradually teach your nervous system that it's okay to want, to receive, to be seen, to be abundant. This is sacred work. This is the real inner work that most manifestation teachings skip over entirely. Some gentle practices to begin. Breath work to anchor into safety. Simple, deep belly breathing that tells your nervous system you are safe in this moment. Not to manifest anything, but to come home to your body. Somatic awareness. Notice where you feel tension when you think about your desires. Breathe into those places. Send love to the parts of you that learn to protect through contraction. Journal with compassion. Ask yourself, what would I believe if I already had it? Notice what comes up without judgment. These responses show you exactly where your healing work lies. Small acts of receiving. Practice receiving compliments, help, gifts, beauty. Let your nervous system learn that you are worthy of good things in small, non-threatening doses. Remember, you're not broken. You're not behind. You're not failing at manifestation. You're simply learning to feel safe in your own worthiness. And that is the most important work you will ever do. Here's something most spiritual teachers won't tell you, because it would put them out of business. Even spirituality can become performance if you're chasing outcomes. How many of you have turned manifestation into another form of perfectionism? Another area where you can succeed or fail. Another way to prove your worth. You meditate to manifest faster. You practice gratitude to raise your vibration. You do shadow work to clear your blocks. You study ancient wisdom to unlock the secrets. And underneath all of this spiritual activity, the same old pattern runs. If I do this right, I'll get what I want. This is not awakening. This is spiritual capitalism. True spiritual practice has no agenda. It seeks nothing. It simply is. The moment you start performing spirituality, even to yourself, you've missed the point entirely. The ancient masters didn't teach manifestation techniques. They taught presence. They taught being. They taught the radical recognition that you already are what you seek. They didn't give their students tools to get enlightenment. They showed them that enlightenment is what they already are. The same is true for abundance, love, success, or any other manifestation goal. You're not trying to attract these things from outside yourself. You're remembering that they are expressions of your essential nature. This is why the most powerful manifesting often happens when you've completely forgotten about manifesting. When you're so absorbed in being yourself, so present to the moment, so aligned with your truth, that outcomes become irrelevant. In that space of pure being, without agenda or timeline or need for anything to be different than it is, magic happens naturally. Synchronicities appear without effort. Opportunities open without striving. The right people show up at the perfect time, not because you're working some cosmic system, but because you've stopped interfering with the natural flow of life that's always been trying to serve your highest good. The greatest manifestation is not getting what you want. It's discovering that what you are is more magnificent than anything you could ever want. Now I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine that you are not a person trying to attract things. Imagine that you are a gravitational field, a magnetic presence that naturally draws into your orbit everything that matches your frequency. You don't chase. You don't pursue. You don't effort. You simply exist, and by existing in your full truth, you become irresistible to everything that belongs in your reality. Picture this. Your authentic self is like a sun, radiating its unique light into the cosmos. Planets, the people, opportunities, experiences that are meant for you are naturally drawn into your orbit, not because you're pulling them, but because your gravitational field matches their trajectory. This is what the ancient alchemists meant when they spoke of personal magnetism. This is what the Hermetic philosophers understood about the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Your outer world is not separate from your inner world. Your outer world is your inner world, manifested in physical form. When you truly embody this knowing, not as a concept, but as lived reality, you stop trying to manifest anything. Instead, you become a living magnet for everything that belongs in the universe of your highest expression. You don't chase money. Money flows to you because you embody the consciousness of abundance. You don't seek love. Love finds you because you radiate the frequency of wholeness. You don't pursue opportunities. Opportunities pursue you because you carry the vibration of readiness and worthiness. This is not arrogance. This is not spiritual ego. This is the recognition of what you've always been beneath the layers of conditioning and self-doubt. You are not a seeker. You are a finder. You are not a student of life. You are life studying itself through the unique lens of your consciousness. You are not trying to become someone worthy of your desires. You are remembering that your desires are expressions of the universe seeking to know itself more fully through you. The mystics taught that the divine and the human are not separate. The sacred and the mundane are not divided. The created and the creator are one consciousness, exploring itself through infinite forms. You are not requesting permission from the universe to live your dreams. You are the universe, manifesting dreams through the exquisite form of your being. When this recognition drops from your head into your heart, into your bones, into your cellular memory, everything changes. You stop asking and start knowing. You stop seeking and start being. You stop manifesting and start expressing. You don't chase the reality you desire. You remember you are the version that already lives it. What I've shared with you today is not new information. It's not a technique or a method or a system. It's remembering. It's coming home to what the sages have always known, that the power to create your reality doesn't live outside you. It doesn't live in your thoughts, or your visualizations, or your affirmations. It lives in the essence of what you are. The real law of attraction was hidden not in some secret text or ancient scroll. It was hidden in plain sight, in the simple recognition that you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And what you are, beneath all the stories and conditioning and wounds, is infinite creative potential, expressing itself as a human being. They buried this truth because a person who knows their power cannot be controlled. A being who recognizes their divine nature cannot be sold false promises. A consciousness that understands its creative authority cannot be kept small. But you cannot be kept small anymore. You remember now. You remember that you are not a victim of circumstances, but the author of reality. You remember that you are not seeking abundance. You are abundance seeking expression. You remember that you are not trying to manifest love. You are love manifesting as experience. You remember that you are not pursuing your dreams. You are the dreamer dreaming the dream. This is the ancient law they tried to erase. This is the sacred truth they buried beneath layers of commercialized spirituality and consumer consciousness. You are the law. You are the attraction. You are the manifestation. And now you remember. I remember who I am, and I attract from who I truly be. Comment those words below. Not to manifest, but to become.